I mentioned earlier, Ukraine staging a series of strikes reaching deep into Russia, Moscow launching a heavy attack of its own on Kyiv. This latest escalation coming ahead of a second round of peace talks scheduled for Monday in Istanbul. For more, let's bring in Bloomberg's Michael Heath. So even with these peace talks scheduled, it's sort of really intensified business as usual when it comes to fighting on the front.
Yeah, I mean, but these were some extraordinarily audacious attacks by Ukraine. I mean,
right.
According to our reporting, they've moved these drones around in wooden houses inside Russia, and they've had drone operators there. I mean, they went into Siberia to attack airfields, you know, Tu-95 bombers which transport nuclear weapons. You know, it's part of Russia's nuclear fleet sort of thing. Not there were nuclear weapons on them, obviously, but that's sort of their strike capability. And President Zelensky, Ukraine's president, said that this had been more than 18 months in the making. So amazing attacks, and Russia has obviously responded with fury with the attacks that you mentioned there. So, I mean, I'm not sure if it makes a lot of difference at this stage for the peace talks, but it just gives no sense of any let up on the front lines. And Ukraine really, it just seems to be trying to find that pain threshold for Russia, but it's very difficult to find. I mean, sort of on one hand, these attacks show that, you know, it's sort of the corruption of the Russian state that you can get so, you know, your security officials through to stage this kind of attack. But at the same time, Russia just has such, in the administration there has such great control in terms of media, in terms of the message that comes out. It acknowledged that these attacks happened. It said that, you know, the damage was limited, etc. And it's obviously responded really heavily with Ukraine.
Mike, the first time that they met in Turkey back in May, we actually saw them with an agreement to exchange prisoners, also to try to get to a ceasefire. What are we expecting from this second round?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, Ukraine sort of put a lot on the agenda, that its defence minister will be there and, you know, talks about a truce and all these sorts of things. But even if we go back to that first round of talks, you know, they were releasing prisoners to one another as Russia was launching really significant strikes on Kiev as well. So I guess, you know, we've sort of just got this two-track thing of sort of trying to find a way to end the war, but neither side is going to give any ground, you know, or show any weakness at least on the battlefield. And Russia certainly is trying to project its overwhelming strength there. So Ukraine has put a lot on the agenda. Really, what it comes down to is what Russia, you know, how interested Russia is in any of this. And for that, we're just going to have to sort of wait and see. I mean, there were a lot of hopes, or you know, fairly high hopes as well with that first round, because President Trump had sort of sought to put a lot of pressure on both sides. Now, you know, we've got them striking each other hard, but we do have some talks between officials that will go ahead, and we really just have to see. I mean, ideally, I think what Ukraine would want, and certainly what Washington would want, is some sort of truce, some sort of ceasefire that allows them to then get to a stage where they try and work out how to end this war.